Previously, on Jason and Melissa Travel, we spent a month in Saranda, Albania, where we were blown away by the beauty and generosity of the culture. We were invited to a traditional lunch in the mountains near the village of Zhulat, spent days lounging on the beach overlooking the island of Corfu, Greece, and took in endless sunsets on our Airbnb balcony.
The sun is finally up. We are taking a taxi from Saranda into Tirana to catch our bus at about 9:45 this morning, and that will take us into Ohrid, North Macedonia. We should get there probably around 12:30 or 1 o'clock this afternoon. So a little bit of a long travel day. Got up at about 3 o'clock this morning, but everything is going great. We really can't complain.
Well, I took a Dramamine this morning so that I don't get sick in the taxi, so I'm back there like a little zombie, a little bobblehead, bouncing around trying to stay awake.
It is. It's a little like she's just drunk laying in the back seat, but she's not drunk. It's from her Dramamine.
But I'm also not sick.
After about an 8-hour travel day, we arrived in Ohrid, North Macedonia. Join us as we explore Samuel's fortress, tour the most photographed locations in all of Macedonia, and spend a date night getting schwazy at a winery in the mountains just outside the city.
Anybody that knows me knows I love earth science, so reading up on Lake Ohrid really had my nerd meter spiking. Lake Ohrid is the oldest and deepest lake in Europe. At almost 10 million years old and depths nearing 300 meters, it is known as a rift valley and was formed by tectonic plates pulling apart. The city of Ohrid is the largest on the lake, with a population close to 55,000. It was once known as the Jerusalem of the Balkans for having 365 different churches, one for every day of the year. However, most of these churches did not survive the Ottoman rule. Today, both the lake and the city of Ohrid are UNESCO World Heritage Sites.
We have been cooped up for the last week in our Airbnb because we got sick on our travel day coming into Ohrid. So we are finally going out on a date night. I talked Jason into taking me wine tasting, and we are walking along the waterfront here in Ohrid. This is our view. This is just unreal. It's so beautiful. Sweet barrel wine. I'm supposed to spit this stuff out, but no way, Jose.
Welcome to Date Night with Jason and Melissa.
So we're done with our date night, and they had some real deep samples of wine and rakia, which is a distilled grape
Liquor.
Yeah, liquor. Oh, hey-o. We need to go find some dinner. I need to find some food. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I had to have a little something to eat post wine tasting. No visit to Ohrid would be complete without wandering the busy pedestrian streets of Old Town or popping into some of the shops and restaurants. We also checked out the bazaar, which boasts everything from souvenirs to Turkish teas and treats, and even the famous Ohrid pearl jewelry. Jason talked me into an adventure today.
Yep.
We are gonna go see some ruins.
Yep. And a church.
And in order to go see some ruins, I told him that I need to be fed. So I think we might try and hit up some moussaka for lunch and maybe a glass of wine in exchange to go see some ruins with Jason. Because
So-
you know I need to get bribed to go see some ruins or do a hike.
Yeah, you can see how priorities are a bit different here. Melissa's priority is a liter of wine and some moussaka, but really the star of the show today, we are heading up to Samuel's Fort, which has an amazing view over the overlooking the city and Lake Ohrid, and we are also going to go down and see a church that has, of course, the church itself is absolutely beautiful, but we're going to also check out the views from the church of the lake. So our priorities are a bit different, but I did have to sweet talk her.
See why he has to promise me wine and like some kind of yummy treat? He makes me work for it. Big snail.
You found a snail. What'd you find, Melissa?
Came up on a cherry tree. And normally we don't pick things from other people's yards, but it's hanging over it and they're dropping into the alley. So I just grabbed one that I could reach from the street. They're so sweet. Oh my goodness.
See, it was totally worth it for you to come on this side. You got free snacks.
On our way up to Samuel's Fortress, we came across the ancient amphitheater of Ohrid. The theater was built around 200 BC and has a bit of a dark past. Along with hosting gladiator events, the theater also hosted executions performed by the Romans. Because of its checkered past, the theater was left abandoned. In 2002, the Republic of Macedonia reconstructed parts of the theater, which now seats 1,700 people. Currently, the theater is an important part of the annual Ohrid Summer Festival. Dominating the hilltop and overlooking the city is Samuel's Fortress. It was the capital of First Bulgarian Empire during the rule of Tsar Samuel of Bulgaria at the turn of the 11th century. Its construction is primarily of limestone and is well preserved with marked walkways. For a small entrance fee, we had a spectacular view in all directions of the city below. I am at the age now where I could break something. This is dangerous. This is off-roading.
After dragging Melissa up the hill and listening to her share how happy she was to be hiking up yet another mountain to see more archaeological sites, she was quite happy to find out that the next stop was all downhill. We are now headed to the most photographed place in all of Macedonia, the Church of St. John the Theologian, which was built sometime in the 13th century. The church is dedicated to John of Patmos, the writer of the book of Revelation, who is considered to be the same person as John the Apostle.
No pink one, Jason?
No, I gotta be honest, I think it's too small.
Oh yeah, it's just a scarf for your shoulders, I
Yeah, I
think.
don't think it'll fit around me.
Gotta put a little something on to cover those knees, buddy. All right, as promised, I did all the things that Jason wanted to do. Now it's time for my moussaka and wine. Wine times! Gonna get my wine and my moussaka. I cannot wait. I do not get dressed up very often. But when I do, it's for wine. We decided to go on a little date night tonight, and I made us a reservation at a local winery here in Ohrid that has Macedonian wine. Our taxi just pulled up, so we are off to our date.
Yeah, so I'm going to take this little hot tamale to the winery. We were told here at the winery that this winery is fairly new. It's only about 3 years old. It is family run. The two brothers that make the wine and run the vineyards here learned how to make wine from their parents and their grandparents. So there's been a lot of history and just tradition passed down here at this little winery. So from what I understand, we have some different like zones or stages set up for today. I think we're gonna have white wine and part of our meal out in the vineyard, and then we're gonna move into the terrace for some red wine and I think more food. So we can't wait. This is really neat.
Wine here. This is Ohrid Blanc de Ohrid, white cuvée, 3 different types of white grape, 12% of alcohol.
What do you think? I think this is my official first glass of wine sitting amongst the vines.
I know, look at this. This is lovely. He said the band was playing, all the birds are chirping. This is so wonderful. So I looked up this place on Google to do a wine tasting here so that we could just try some of the local wines. And I found this place that offered not only a wine tasting, but a pairing with their wine. And there was some different levels you could choose from. I chose the longest, biggest one because, hey, why not? We're here, right? And this is about a 3.5-hour wine tasting / pairing with some different like little appetizers and finger foods, and I'm pretty sure that we also get a whole meal that comes with this. So I think it wound up being like €65 total, and it's just the two brothers who are the winemakers here, who are the proprietors. We have had a lovely time so far. Got a welcome cocktail. We're out in the vineyard, just the two of us. It's quiet. I think we're gonna have our white wine pairing out here in the vineyard, and then we're gonna head back towards the main house to do some red wine pairings, and there's also, I think, some brandy, a wine liqueur, and possibly some rakia at the end, and I cannot wait. This is just such a cool experience. A wonderful date night. I'm having a lovely time out here in the sun. The rain cleared up. This is awesome. I'm loving it.
I got to give it to Melissa. This is a pretty good date night. I mean, it's 5 hours in, still going. I can't tell you how much I recommend this place. This place is amazing.
And they'll probably serve us more if we asked, but somebody's got to walk us to the cab, so I don't think we can have any more. Thank you. We had such a good time hanging out at S&S Winery that we decided to book another wine tasting. A little shorter this time. I don't think we need to be there for 6 hours, but we decided to do another wine tasting, and while we were there, we turned out. Yeah, we turned out. While we were there, it turns out that Ohrid has a wine festival, and S&S Winery was going to have a booth there. So the owners invited us to come down and try out their wine, and it's about sunset right now. We're going to grab something to eat, and then we're going to go find all the wineries that are here on the water. There's also supposed to be some live music, so something a little different while we're here. It was a bit of a surprise. Yeah, now we're on my kind of hike. Come on, Jason, let's go.
It's time for some wine.
Coming up, Jason and I learn firsthand about Albania's past with a tour through a nuclear fallout shelter. We uncover the vibrance that is making this beautiful country a present-day must-see tourist destination. And I conquer my fear of heights to take in all of Tirana from the mountaintop. Jesus, take the wheel.
We hope everybody enjoyed this video. Thank you so very much for joining us here and exploring Ohrid, North Macedonia.
If you're following along on our 2024 trip to Europe, please consider subscribing, follow along with us. Our next one is Tirana, Albania.
Yep, this is the aftermath. We hiked up to the fort, to the church, wine and moussaka. It was a good one, Melissa. We had a good run. Rest in peace, my ride or die.